Fuck, I knew I was gonna fucking forget something. But this is just gonna be real quick. Two things. See that right here I put a nail in. It seems that apparently I lost the tapered, whatever, pin that wasn't there. What is a tapered pin? Tapered, whatever the fuck you call it. It's not a straight cylinder. It's actually bigger at one end, and one end is bigger than the other, wider than the other. So here it's actually wider, and it narrows down at the bottom. That ensures that the pin doesn't fall out. Okay, but either somebody lost the pin here, or there's a lot of people that come through here where I'm working at right now, unfortunately, but a lot of other guys working on shit. But so there's somebody lost it, but you see how convenient these things are. You just put a nail in there, and you're good. It's actually, the nail is actually the perfect thickness, width, fit in there perfectly. You don't want to put anything that's made of copper, because you know this movement here, it will eventually wear out the copper. This steel here, it's actually not ideal either. Ideally, I put either brass or ideally stainless steel, which I might do later. But I don't have that right now because stainless steel is hard; it won't wear out. Whereas this here nail, I mean, it will eventually wear out, you know, in decades. But copper, no, copper it will wear out in a few months. I had a copper cotter pin holding the transmission levers here. I showed it in another video, and it did come out while I was in the highway, so I lost third and second gear. And I just went underneath the car, and what I did is I welded. Sorry, no. I took it out from underneath the car later, and then I welded it. I welded a washer instead of the fucking cotter pin. Fucking cotter pins are garbage. I've got look at that video if you're interested. But the other thing that I'd like to mention is, you see how the solenoid, it's actually like, it's downwards, right? It's like this. And a couple of people have mentioned that. The problem is, the oil, remember there's oil in here, it's actually the oil is actually in contact with the solenoid here, the plunger here. And what happens is, as right in between the plunger here, right in the middle of the plunger, you probably won't be able to see it, but there's a gasket there. There's a rubber seal here. And what will happen is it'll wear out eventually. This one is in great shape, but you know it will wear out eventually, and then oil will start to get inside here, and it will get inside the windings here, the wires here, and it'll cause a short, you know, and it'll ruin the solenoid completely, because then you'd have to rewire it, you know, open it up, rewire it, and whatever. If it was me, you know, that this is an error of engineering. Okay, if it was me, I would have done it maybe perhaps on the other side. Well, I couldn't have done it on the other side because this here has to be in the same place as the reverse shaft here. It'll have to be on the side, but I would have done it on an upward angle like this, facing upward. And if I might be mistaken, but I think that maybe some transmissions, some other overdrives, they already have that. But anyway, you see, this is an error of engineering. I mean, it's not. I guess it's not an error. Technically, it's not an error. It's just they could have done it better, right? And I mean, how do you know if the oil is leaking? You don't. You just know. You just find out when the solenoid stops working. Okay, then that's a pain in the ass. I don't like things that you can only identify the problem once it's broken. Ideally, you want to design something that you can identify the problem before it causes a failure. Okay, so for example, you'd see the oil coming in, you know that problem has to be solved. But I mean, you could even perhaps have done it up here and some other mechanism, but done some design that would prevent this from being tilted downwards. Then I mean, if it's tilted upwards like that, if it's facing upwards, then gravity is holding the oil down. So even if the gasket were to fail completely, the oil would still not be continuously seeping in to the windings, because it's either up here. The oil would perhaps not even get close to contact with that, right? So that's just I just like to quickly mention that. That's it. Bye bye again. I always fucking forget to mention something. Damn.